and actually just to lay it all out on what's been going on with me personally, with me in the community, which all ties into my civil rights and what's happening to us out here in San Francisco. I didn't take it to, I'm trying to follow the best chain of command that I can, and I feel like this council here would be the best step for me to take first, so we can address some of the issues that I'm about to bring forward to you. And so, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with me coming into the San Francisco Human Rights Commission and speaking with Commissioner Davis. Whereas on around June the 24th, I met with the vice chair of the San Francisco Human Rights Commission, Davis, to express some concerns of the community, me as a community advocate and a member as the members of the Bayview who are feeling heavy burdens, which was within our housing. Our children still fell in our elementary schools, and also District 10 rates are very below in San Francisco. They're at the bottom. They're still at the bottom in the Bayview. And also just to talk about some things that's happening with the community-based organizations in the Bayview that are leaving our youth behind. Whereas I brought that attention to the lack of support also from District 10 supervisor. As a park advocate group, I held an event in Bayview on June 2016 for all the youth in the Bayview, just to kind of make them feel good about graduating 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 12th grade. And whereas I received no support from our district supervisor at all, and I didn't ask for any monument. All I asked for was finger foods, water, nothing from the district supervisor. So whereas the conversation was brought to Commissioner Davis, that it's a duty to gain support as a grassroots organizer from the district supervisor, and not only be as a benefit to the supervisors when they're, to conduct their services. As a visit with Commissioner Shaw Davis, I would like to refer to an exhibit that I made to show you after my conversation with Cheryl Davis. I received this email from someone in Cohen's office referring themselves to me, and you can take it for yourself. Okay, and as a result, that's what I received from Supervisor Cohen. And as that referral from Supervisor Cohen, for the record, I'm now requesting that this entity that sent me this email, the district supervisor, Supervisor Cohen, Commissioner Davis, and whoever else that we can get at the table to meet with us and get ready to have us a community forum. Because I feel as though some of this stuff that's going on is getting brushed up under the table, and we'll see what it is when we get ready to have the community forum, which is why I brought the attention here, so that I could try to get support to have a community forum, because as I get into other issues that's occurring to us. On December the 1st, 2015, the Children Defense Fund founder visits City Hall, that came from out of Washington. She visited City Hall. The next day, December the 2nd, 2015, Brother Mario was executed. And so where and when do this Community Defense Fund 2016 policy to be enforced here in San Francisco? You can want to know about the policy, you can check out the Children Defense Forum. It's a level playing field for California children. Mario Woods, who was someone's son, uncle, brother, friend, cousin on December the 2nd, as he ended his life as the majority of the African Americans in Bayview also lost their life that same particular day, and we're trying to say enough. And we don't need any more Jessica Williams or Mario Woods in Bayview. Whereas in this area, we have the San Francisco Unified School District, San Francisco Rec and Park, working with so-called community-based organizations, the Bayview Hill Zone, B Magic, 94 Parks 94124, who is misusing funds, forwarding misinformation, allowing divide and conquer, forwarding names and logos, and having events, planning events with people that's supposed to be at the table that they're just excluding out. And I would take it up on myself to say they are using a lot of discouraging, retaliation, they're defaming, and they're also demonstrating microaggression within the community, trying to organize and do things for the youth and families. This is what's happening from the entities and the institutions. Whereas we're demanding that the San Francisco human rights begin to dismantle the unjust to the children and the families that's in the Bayview, that's often left behind, but yet there are so many adults extremely profiting off them, the poor and the uneducated, who don't clearly know the ins and outs of their nonprofit organizations that's there to serve them. So I'm going to somehow put in a resolution that these organizations that's in the Bayview, that's getting funds off the back of the children, form some type of a family advisory council, a parent advisory council, or a community-based or a community advisory council, so they can work within the organization and the board members to better serve the people in the community who they're there to support. Whereas members who advocate for children and youth shall not be sabotaged or intimidated or denied citizens of the open space to be used as parks. So on that note, whatever's going on out here in San Francisco, which I'm really not familiar with what's happening, but I know something is happening. I have another exhibit where I have been a park advocate for 5 years. And because I no longer work for Park and Rec, I have been nothing but bullied and retaliated against. And whereas here's another exhibit to show you, they told me that I couldn't even use the open space and the parks anymore, because I don't even know what's going on. And so that's another exhibit that I would like to show you that's happening. And let me see, so, and there's another exhibit to follow that, because it was showed that I was having a conversation with one entity in Park and Rec, and the very next day another entity told me I wasn't even able to use the parks anymore. So I don't know if there's just a lack of communication within the department. I don't really know. All I know is it just was like a slap in the face to me for me to even get the response email. That's why I'm showing the email. I'm showing these as exhibits to use to show you what's going on. So whereas the African Americans has faced the highest incarceration and gun violence, my Fifth Amendment in San Francisco has been violated. On October the 26th, Civil Court Judge Queen in Department 15 denied myself and my children restraining orders on 2 cases. I'm been sexual harassed in San Francisco and I'm asking for protection. It was denied. I have been assaulted in San Francisco and I'm asking for protection, and it has been denied. On October the 26th, on the court date, there were other people of color in the courtroom. I was the only African American. All of those people, there was only 6 cases. 5 of those cases was granted protection. 3 of those cases didn't even have defendants. One was a Caucasian white lady, one was a Caucasian male lady, and the other one was a Latino lady. But I yet was not given any protection, and I had police reports, I had statements wrote that I'm being sexually harassed in this city by entities from the San Francisco Rec and Park Department. Is why I removed myself from the department, and I was not given that order, which is really a strange thing. And so here's another point I would like to make. Whereas the blacks in San Francisco is receiving a lot of bullying, a lot of intimidation, They're being overlooked in these jobs. They're not being entitled to be managers or even supervisors. I personally know someone that worked for Park and Rec for 30 years, just made supervisor in 2016, and yet she still get bullied by her white counterparts and intimidated, and it has been very stressful for her, and this is what we're up against. And I have also would like to show to support the way the African Americans are feeling in San Francisco. I went to an article in the New Bayview for another exhibit, which is my exhibit B, to show you that there is something's going on here. And here's another article that states it, that was written by someone that's letting you know what's happening inside the Park and Rec department, how African Americans are not allowed to move up in any positions. So I would like to say that, and basically I'm really here because we're asking for the Black representative of the city to step in into these terms and conditions and further assist us as residents who are just, it's simply some of us is just not in the cabinet, and we should not be getting excluded and treated any different because we're not sitting at the table with the mayor, or we're not hands in hands with Cohen. Is just not gonna keep being acceptable. So I'm trying to do the best steps that I can take as a human. I'm not going to be out here being bullied. I'm not going to be out here being disrespected. I am 46 years old. I was born and raised in the city. San Francisco is racist. It has been so all my life, which is okay long as I'm able to do what I need to do. And I don't bother nobody. I don't feel like I should be getting attacked by institutions, and everything I do in this city, I do not get a dime for. I do as a community activist, and it's because I am entitled to go into my community and help little children that looks like me, or children, Latino children, or children in general, and that has been a blockage in this city. And if we're going to work together as a city, as a nation, we just got a new president. How is we gonna stand stronger together? Which even if we don't stand stronger together, and Trump's in now, and he talk about making America great for who? Because it ain't never been too great for African Americans. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way for us to move out here in San Francisco, because we're tired. We're tired. We're really tired as people. We're just tired as citizens. We're tired as parents. We're tired that our children just don't get their fair share. It's just not gonna keep being acceptable. And when I have to get stopped and asked to step off a board or stop helping the city because they're not standing for Black African Americans, so why keep sitting there, Vanessa? I had to think about it. My peers addressed me in traffic. Hey, you still with San Francisco Rights Commission? Yeah, well, you need to think about stepping down. So I don't know how everybody else is feeling, but I also went to members in the Bayview and asked them about the approach that I took in the Western Addition, and how do y'all feel about me sitting here trying to stay a part of what the city is doing, or trying to be at the table to be the person or the voice, and they simply said step down. So I went to colleagues, and that's why I stepped down. I would have loved it to be here, but at some time I have to step away now because I need to bring issues to this body, because it's not good for us in San Francisco. It's not good for me. I have just been asked to drop classes from school because my mental condition is not good. It's unacceptable, and I appreciate your time, and I want you to take what I have said, figure out a way to say, hey, this is what she brought to us, because it's my human rights to come to my entities in my city. It's a human right for me to do the best steps that I can take. I'm trying to get protected orders. That's not working. The only next thing for me to do is fight. I'm not going to keep taking flight. I'm going to wind up having to fight. And I'm not trying to be in jail. I don't want to go to jail. I don't see jail in my future. But this city have to step up for the African Americans, because it's not just going to keep being acceptable. So I appreciate your time. And before I close, just to let you know that nothing's personal. It's getting personal but it's never personal. Here's another email that I would like to use as another exhibit to show that other people are complaining about the misappropriated funds that's being allocated through Park and Rec. I don't know these people. These people don't know me. I am just in their email pool, and this is what they stated about Park and Rec, so you can take a look at that. And as I close, I would like to close with a quote from Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine said in 1700s, it was a distinction between society and the government that Paine addressed his most concerns. Society is a very state a blessing, he wrote, but government, even in its best state, is but a necessary evil. So I'm calling on the body here to help me move forward first, and then hopefully everything else can fall in place. I appreciate your time. Thank you. And do you have any questions? If you don't have none now, you can email me. I appreciate it. If you just want to let this meditate, I will follow back up, again, and to see what we can do to move the agenda forward better for the residents of Bayview, including myself. Thank you.
You know Patricia Mitchell?
That's over the medical,
Pat Mitchell.
that's over the medical center, the new medical center, the health clinic.
She used to sit on this committee. She was here my first year here, she was here. She's in Bayview Center Point.
No, personally, I probably do, but I don't know.
She works a lot with Bayview Center Point children,
Mm-hmm.
the reading projects and stuff like that. She'd be a really good resource for you. So I will, she's always looking to connect and network, so I'll hook you up with her. So I'll give, I'm on Facebook, so. The other thing was the school. My other thing was the school thing. Who asked you to drop out of classes?
Well, counselors asked me.
Which school?
I'm in the city. I'm working on my degree to be a teacher, and because I'm not focusing, it's best to. They didn't suggest. They didn't say, hey, you need to drop. But it's either C's or D's, and I'm an honor society student, so I got a very good GPA.
Have you thought about
I've
going
been in
to the
school for
disabled
3
students'
years.
office?
I don't need no D's or C's on my report card.
What about the disabled students' office there?
Well, I'm getting services. They're helping me with, they're giving me counseling and stuff, I'm
Accommodations to
taking
help
advantages.
you keep your A's. Extended time on tests.
Well, if I don't feel better about the time I go back in, I would probably go for some help with disability. But right now, I'm gonna just take the W and heal myself and try to think what are some things that I need to be doing. Like one of them, this wasn't even wrote until yesterday. Like I hadn't had a chance to get to it because I'm in school. So I finally got to it yesterday, and here I am. And so I'm gonna be okay.
There's an alternate to the
I'm gonna be
W.
okay. I need the city and individuals like you all that's sitting here that's representing the city for equity for everybody. And so that's why this was my first stop, because I have other altercations. There's other moves I could have bust. I could have went to the media. I could have went to the newspaper. I could have went to the board of supervisors. But the thing is, you start small, and just to let you know, that's why I brought a show and tell. So you won't just be like, well, Vanessa did bring in some documents. She just didn't say, because I have no idea who this person is. I have Facebooked this person, and I'm not even on Facebook. I got other people Facebooking this person. It's not a person and I've been in San Francisco for 46 years. And if you don't know me, you know of me. And for me and nobody else to even have heard of this person, I need the supervisor now bring it to the table. And then that'll show us what kind of supervisor we got. If she can't present her. Any more questions?
I also know the city controller's office has a whistleblower program that you might want to look into that tries to mitigate between individuals and city agencies, or a city agency between city agency. It's totally anonymous, or it cannot be anonymous. It's all up to you
Oh, well,
in what
whatever.
form you put it through.
Whatever
actually have
resources I can get.
they have teeth to address a lot of the things that you're talking about, while I feel like the EAC doesn't have those kind of teeth to actually force people to a table. They do. And so that's where I would go to you to get some resolution.
Okay.
Man, some of us won't be here next year. Some of us are stepping down.
I
We're
know.
on other committees. We end in December, so you may have to go back
I know
again.
that, I know, but Veronica been a staff here, and hopefully it was being recorded while I'm recording it. It can get some attention brought to, and if I have to, I have no problem asking Cheryl Davis to come back to the meeting and be giving her the presentation all over again, because she the one who I started with. So I'm always go back to who I started with anyway. I was just hoping that she would have been here, but unfortunately, since she not, there's no problem that she would get word of this meeting and what I came here to address, and hopefully she'll be ready to take it forward. Or not, I'll be ready to move forward with a letter to her, Precious Webster, and Cohen for a meeting, because this is who I brought the issues with, and as a supervisor and as a Human Rights Commission, I'm asking for intervention, and somebody needs to help us do something. There's no use to saying move Chief Sir and causing all this chaos about one person when it's all still association of the school district and the police department. I mean, it all goes hand in hand. So you can't pull one puzzle, say remove one piece of a puzzle when all the other pieces is there is just ruined and need to be replaced as well. So that's just how I feel. So they all working in together, but they need to do better, because it's getting crucial out here for us, and we want to be successful and survive in the city just like everybody else. And that's just where I'm at. And of course, I'm gonna be the spokesperson. And next time, do I have to come bring people back down here? No, I think it's time to start taking a different approach. I don't need 10, 15 people with me to come and just make a simple presentation. That's why I didn't ask people to come. People wanted to come, but I said, no, just hold back. Let me just make an approach, because it's not about that. It's about just trying to see what we can do to come together, and then I will come back in the community and hopefully do a community forum and invite all these entities, Park and Rec, the school district. I have no problem doing that, and we have that right. We only have town meetings when someone's been shot. It shouldn't have to take someone to get shot down to have a town meeting. The last town meeting was with Mario Woods, and what was the one before that? It wasn't. So that's just where we need to go. We need to all start checking in. How do you keep saying hold somebody accountable when you don't even know who you holding accountable, if you don't even know who these people are? So again, thank you, and I will follow up, and as the year go out, you have a very safe year and a happy New Year's, and best wishes in all your endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you.